Humanity had always believed monsters existed only in myths, until the sky tore open and the Dracarii descended, massive alien dragons with wings that blotted out the sun, scales like living armor, eyes burning with ancient intelligence, and voices that could shake mountains. Their arrival shattered cities, collapsed governments, and plunged the world into an age of terror where no weapon seemed powerful enough to stop them. And after years of futile resistance, desperate leaders made an unthinkable decision. To survive, they would appease the fiercest of these creatures with a yearly sacrifice, a single human child delivered to the largest and most feared Dracarii known as the Fierce One. Propaganda framed it as honor, survival, and destiny, but in truth, it was fear disguised as policy. And for decades, children were taken, escorted across the glass-scorched Scarlands, and never returned, until one year the lottery selected a 9-year-old girl named Ilara Vance, a bright, curious child who loved space, wrote questions about alien life in a small notebook, and once wondered if extraterrestrials could ever be kind. On the day of the offering, drones broadcast her walk across the burning sands to billions of viewers worldwide, some watching in grief, others in guilt, many in numb silence, while Ilara trembled but refused to cry, gripping her notebook as if it held courage itself. When she reached the boundary where soldiers stopped in terror, she stepped forward. Alone, facing the towering Fierce One perched upon a ridge of blackened stone, its colossal wings folded like weapons, its claws digging into the earth, its breath rolling over her like fire, and as it lowered its massive head and open jaws lined with blades of ivory, the world braced for another scream, another death, another silent burial. But instead, Ilara spoke, her voice small yet brave, asking a question no sacrifice had ever dared to ask. "Are you going to eat me?" And in that instant, something unprecedented happened, as the dragon did not roar or strike but responded telepathically, its voice echoing inside every mind tuned to the broadcast, asking in return, "Why are you afraid?" Stunning the world into breathless stillness, Ilara admitted she feared death but feared ignorance more, and as the Fierce One studied her not as prey but as a being capable of thought, it revealed a truth humanity had never been told, that the Dracarii's first attacks were retaliation for human fleets destroying their hatcheries and annihilating their young in the depths of space. Memories flooded the broadcast in visions of shattered alien eggs, burned nests, and mourning creatures driven by grief and rage, forcing humanity to confront a horrifying realization. They had not been victims of a senseless invasion, they had been participants in a war they started and then lied about. Ilara, heart-pounding, stepped closer to the monster she had been sent to die for and raised her trembling hand to touch its scales, declaring that sacrificing children would never heal the wounds between their species. And for the first time in history, the Fierce One did not kill, but listened, admitting that the Dracarii never desired human blood, only truth, peace, and an end to fear. The dragon vowed that no more children would die and proclaimed that if humanity wished to survive, it would speak instead of sacrifice, learn instead of destroy, and confront its own history instead of hiding behind lies. As Ilara stood alive beneath the shadow of a being once believed to be pure extinction, the world witnessed the collapse of an entire era of terror and the birth of an impossible alliance, with a single brave child becoming the bridge between two civilizations and proving that humanity's greatest strength was not its weapons, but its courage to question, empathize, and evolve, marking the moment fear died and hope took its first breath among the stars. If this emotional, powerful HFY story moved you, make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more epic Reddit sci-fi stories. Your support helps bring more intense, cinematic tales to life. Want the next chapter where humanity faces the consequences of this revelation? Tell me, and I'll continue.